Yo ho, a pirate life for me. We did something, 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 yo ho. Something, 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 yo ho, my scurvy dogs. It is I, your favorite bilge rat, the OGGM, coming to you live at 8:55 in the morning on this, the 5th day of January 2024. We've made it an entire week into the month, and so far Wizards of the Coast hasn't done anything destructive. It's a new golden age. All right, so this is a thing. Apparently the Trove and Pirate Bay are back up? Question mark. I say question mark because there are too many malicious site warnings that pop up when I try to confirm that they are back up. Which means, before we even get into the ramifications of pirate sites and whether it's okay or not, I'm going to just say right now, I would not recommend going to these sites. Not because of the political ramifications or the legal ramifications, because of the potential threat to your computer. Okay? I tried to double check if the Pirate Bay was up about 5 minutes ago. Malicious warning, malicious warning, malicious warning. It's like, nope, that's it. I can't afford, So no, these sites are just a breeding ground for viruses, malwares, worms, all sorts of things. You literally take your computer's life in your hand when you attempt to download these. So legalese aside, I would not recommend getting the product from these sites if you can get them someplace else. Now let's get into the legal and political ramifications of pirate sites. Is pirating okay? Is it okay to go to the Trove, find a copy of a game you don't have that you didn't pay for, and download it and put it on your computer? You don't have any plans to resell it. You just want a copy of it for whatever reason. Is that okay? I mean, am I taking money out of Shattered Entertainment's pocket if I go to the Trove and download a copy of his game and they didn't, I didn't put it there. I don't know how it got there. Somebody else got it there, but I already got paid once. And if you're going to go and pirate it, well, that improves my chances of you maybe getting some of my other stuff. I don't know. So I don't know if it went down or just, changed hosts so many times and changed names. I haven't heard it come up in years. I mean, I think the last time I checked the Trove or heard the name come up, it was before I moved. It was way before I moved. So the last time I even heard it come up in conversation was maybe 5-6 years. So I could kind of assume they were done, at least in regards to our neck of the woods. Movies and stuff, video games, movies, other things being pirated. Yeah, we know that still happens. But, somebody goes into a movie theater, takes out their phone, records the movie. They put it on YouTube. It's not like they're going to hide it. People don't hide it behind the Pirate Bay anymore. It's like, here it is on YouTube. Watch my movie. It's really crappy, but I saved you $13. Okay, so is it okay? Is it okay for me to go to Pirate Bay and download Urban Versus game if it means it's taking money out of his pocket? Well, here's the thing. Drive-Thru, RPG, Big Geek Emporium, Game Ogre, all these sites now exist where you could find PDFs of copies of games. Even really obscure out-of-print games you might be able to find a copy of, which sort of eliminates the need for pirate sites because a lot of these are free or really, really cheap. And if it's a game you gotta have a PDF of, it's probably just in your best interest to get it the way the creator of the game intended it. If a PDF is available on Drive-Thru for Urban Versus game, and he's going to charge me $1 or $2 or $5 for the PDF, I'm going to give him the $5 because, one, I want to avoid the possibility of viruses, which is a very, very real threat of these sites. And two, I want to support the creator. So 99% of the time, I would say no. I mean, especially now, there's kind of no reason, at least for us, I'm only talking about role-playing. Video games and all the other things that are pirated. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one. I'm not an attorney. I don't want to tell you it's okay. And then you say, well, I downloaded all the Avenger movies because the OGGM said it was okay. It's like, no. We're only talking about tabletop role-playing games. And we're only talking in regards to like copyrights and taking money out of creators' pockets. Yeah, there are not a lot of good pictures of pirates, are there? Guess we'll just stick with that. Now, what about a game that you can't find? What about a game that's so obscure that the only way you're ever going to get a copy is either A, spend like $400 on eBay, or B, here it is, here's a copy on Trove of a game I'm never going to find elsewhere. And what's a really obscure game? Tinker's Dam, Tinker's Dam, Crusaders, the game I wrote. Are you ever going to find a copy of that anywhere else in the world? Probably not. So is it okay if I go and pirate it? Because, well, yeah, I'm still taking money out of the creator's pocket. But on the other side, that's the only way I'm ever going to get a copy of that game. So I'm still technically supporting that game because I'm at least keeping it in rotation. And maybe I can share the love of that game with other people. So it's okay. And again, I would first go, well, are you sure? Are you sure you can't find a copy of Crusaders? Maybe somebody's already made a retro clone of that game. You don't know. Have you checked the library of the 3,000 plus retro clones? And that are just D20 fantasy, and the 5,000 plus retro clones that include other games. Maybe there is a retro clone of Crusaders out there that somebody's done. So maybe you can just pop that person $1, get their take on the system, and avoid the political and legal ramifications of Pirate Bay. But OGGM, what about this? What about Ironcaster's example? What if it's a zine that's so obscure that maybe there was 4 copies ever made on the entire planet, and the only way I'm ever going to get a copy of that zine is if I pirate it? Because I know there's stuff I wrote for the game mechanic and Space Gamer in the 80s that you're not going to find reprinted anywhere else. So unless I reprint it, or you can, it's not going to be reprinted. So the only way you're going to find stuff I wrote in the 80s is if you find the zine, the game mechanic, and download it. And the only place you could maybe get it is a pirate site. So does that make it okay then? Because, sure, it's money that I'm never going to see, but it's something that's, 40, 50 years old, and it's the only way you're ever going to find it. And maybe by getting the zine this way, I can reignite some interest in that product. Is it okay then? Again, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to tell you it is. I'm just going to say the same thing I said. I would, no matter what, don't download things from these sites, just not because of the legalese, because of the danger of the viruses and the malware. These sites are dangerous. They're literally breeding grounds of things that could kill your computer. That's the reason to avoid them. Nothing else, not the legal shit. What about this? Is it okay if I go to the Trove to use it to preview a game, knowing full well I'm still going to buy that game? Does that make it okay? Because maybe the preview on the site sucks and doesn't tell me enough about the game. Look at Urban Versus example right there. Does that make it okay? I'm still going to pay for it. I'm still going to buy a copy, but I want to make sure it's worth my money. Well, it's not. Now I have this preview. Is it okay? And again, I'm not an attorney, so I can't say it is. My heart, my gut tells me if there is a way you could put money in the creator's pocket, that's first, that's way more important. I mean, I'd rather give Ironcaster $1 to download his game from drive-thru to make sure he actually gets that money, then I would pirate it. And if there's a way to look at it online without illegally downloading it to use it as a preview, I would probably say that's okay. You know, if it was on like a digital read-only site where you're not risking violating anybody's copyright by having a copy of it, and you're not risking any legal mumbo jumbo by having it on your computer. But if you just want to preview it, again, sure, as long as that site's safe. But again, it just always comes back to, when dealing with the computer world today, it's just, I don't know, man. I think the safety of your computer outweighs anything else. Plus, so many of these games are free now online. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of retro clones and copies and that we don't even know about. It's, you know, I mean, if you can think of a game, if you do enough research, there's probably a 70% chance somebody's already made a retro clone, or somebody has already done a safe for you to view version of it. It would have to be such an obscure game that the only, you know, to even consider that the only way I could find it is on the Trove. But apparently it's still a thing, which is why I bring it up. So it's not my place to tell you if it's right or wrong. I could personally tell you, as you already know, what I've already said several times. I think it's unsafe. And, you know, I wouldn't do it. If I could give a guy $1 for a game, I'd rather give them the $1 than steal it. So yeah, have I ever used it in the past? No, not really. I know people have. You know, there was like, oh man, I really want a copy of that game, and I'd go to the you know, and then I'd be like, wait, can I find this game? And 9 out of 10 times I could. So I was like, I don't need to risk my computer by going to the Trove. I found it on drive-thru, and I'll just give this guy $5 and I'll get the game that I want that I'll never play. But I'm a completionist, so I have to have it. Plus, you know, I spent the last several years gaming with an attorney, so it has been beaten into my head about the legal treacherous waters that this is. Bottom line, if you can give the person money for the game, support them, give them the money, or contact them and ask them if they can toss you a copy of the game in exchange for a barter or something, you know, like the people who wrote Tinker's Dam or whatever, or my game. If you wanted a copy of the game I wrote, you know, and it's not online anywhere, you could always just contact me through DM and go, hey, I'd really love a copy of that piece of crap game you wrote in the 80s. Is there any way to get a copy of it? And I'd be like, yeah, I think I've got the PDF somewhere. I could email it to you or whatever. Yeah. So what are your opinions? What are your feelings on pirate sites? Are you okay with them? Are you not okay with them? Do you use them? Do you not use them? Do you care? Is this really newsworthy, or is this just an excuse for me to sing the Pirates of the Caribbean song? You tell me what you're thinking. Yo ho, a pirate.